have a session focused on self-love, self-compassion, self-intimacy, however it is that you want to phrase it. And I know that that can sound really cliche and actually like a little bit icky sometimes, with how we're sold it in the media, even like TV shows, movies sometimes. So I actually want to see if we can relate to it in a slightly different way today. And a lot of my work around this comes from Buddhism and from learning about Buddhism, especially from Tara Brach's work. So if you are interested, I would really recommend checking out Tara Brach. She has a beautiful podcast. She has some amazing books, including one called Radical Acceptance. I think that's what it's called, or Radical Compassion. So that is the way that I am relating to it at the moment, and hopefully that I can share with you as well. So if you would like to start actually in the essence of self-love and compassion, I'm going to invite you to start however you want to. So whether you would like to stay seated or whether you want to take a lie down, you can even come to standing if that is what works for you today. But just find a comfortable place that you can stay for just a couple of moments, while we ground in, while we close our eyes, while we begin to find our breath, and we just begin to find our place on the mat. So if you would like to close the eyes or just soften the gaze, then please do so. And begin to find the breath in and out through the nose. Beginning to connect with this life force energy that is inside us, that moves with us or moves through us through the breath. And I wasn't going to do a class for Valentine's Day because it's so cliche. And then the other day I was driving home from my partner's place, and it's about a 30-minute drive. And at the end of the drive, after 30 minutes, I realized the whole time I was on autopilot. And I also caught myself mid-sentence, and I realized that this is what I'd been doing the entire drive. Talking to myself in a way that was not very kind, was not filled with love. And it was something along the lines of, you are not doing enough, you are not being enough, you are a terrible friend, you have put on weight, you've let yourself go, what's wrong with you? You know, all of these thoughts coming up through my words to myself, through my narrative. And I was completely unconscious to them. They were just going and going and going, this narrative, this constant script going through my head. And I was just so unconscious of it until maybe the 29th minute that I was driving home, and I caught myself and I was like, oh, okay, checked in with how I was feeling in the body, and there was this contraction, there was this kind of tightening, this tension. And I invite you to notice how it feels when you're talking to yourself in that way, when you are saying to yourself that there's something missing or that there's something wrong, either with the moment, with the world, with yourself, usually with ourselves. And what kind of feeling this causes in our body. Is it a contraction? Is it a fragmentation? Is it a spacing out? Is it a disconnection with life, with ourselves? And compassion is the central component of Buddhism. And mindfulness is the central component of compassion. So we have to practice becoming aware of our suffering, of our pain, of our narratives in our own minds that we often take as gospel truth rather than just thoughts that most likely have come from society conditioning. So that's what we're going to do on our mats today. We're just going to practice this mindful awareness, this self-compassion, inquiring around how we move, the choices that we make on our yoga mat, how we speak to ourselves on our yoga mat. And the way that I interrupted my own narrative, and this is from Tara Brach as well, is to use the prayer or the intention or the mantra, whatever you want to call it, of please may I be kinder to myself. That's it. Please may I be kinder to myself. And since then, that was a few days ago, every morning when I've woken up, and hundreds of times throughout the day, this is my repeated mantra. Please may I be kinder to myself. So I invite you to try that now, just that soft intention, that gentle, compassionate, kind intention. Please may I be kinder to myself. And then as this is fulfilled, watch how you then start to treat others and treat life. Watch how this intimacy with life is created, and instead of this contraction, this squeezing, this tension, watch how maybe we start to expand and open. And today we will be focusing on just some soft heart opening, so creating some space in the area of the heart and some twists. So there's nothing more nourishing for ourselves than twists. And I invite you to just meet yourself where you are, to be soft and gentle, and to make choices that are most empowering for you in this moment. We can just leave the ego at the door. We can invite our true selves in, and we can just meet ourselves where we are. And with that, we'll take 3 more breaths. And maybe we'd like to place a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly, just feeling into these sacred spaces. And then after these breaths, maybe we'd like to place the hands on a part of the self that we feel needs the most love at the moment. And this might be a part of yourself that you have a difficult relationship with. So a lot of us, especially women, is the stomach. So maybe we just give ourselves some very gentle self-touch. Or maybe there's a lot going on in the mind, so we give our forehead a massage. Maybe we're having some trouble with the throat, either physically or emotionally, metaphorically. So maybe we give the throat a gentle rub. And of course, maybe our heart is aching or feeling tension, or there's something going on in the heart space. So maybe we just let our hearts know that we are listening, that we are here, and that we are ready to open and receive, and that it's safe to do so. Beautiful. And then either keeping the eyes closed or gently flicking them open as we come to lie down on our backs if we're not there already. We'll bend the knees here and plant the feet, spread the toes nice and wide, create the connection with the feet on the earth. And on our inhale, we'll gently lift the hips towards the sky, peeling the spine off the mat, pressing the tops of the shoulders down. And on our exhale, peel that spine back down. We move with our breath in as we roll up. Starting to create some space in the back of the heart. And we breathe out to peel back down. And maybe we want to get the arms involved. So as we inhale, peel those hips up, reaching behind with the fingertips. And as we exhale, we peel the spine down. We send the fingertips towards the toes. Breath in to lift. And breath out to lower. Just a couple more times. Breath in, really flowing through here. We've got no sharp edges. And breath out, keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest. Chin tucked in towards the chest. Last one. And breathe out to release. Good. Rolling onto the left side, extending the left palm out. Palm up towards the sky, right palm closes on top, and we're closed like a little book here. As we inhale, right arm reaches all the way out to the right hand side, opening up through the chest and shoulders. And we exhale, we empty to close that book. Inhale to open. And exhale to close. 3 more times. Inhale to open. And let this be your reminder that you can open and close chapters whenever you want, whenever you need. And I know that sometimes we feel very stuck. We feel like we can't walk away, we can't close chapters. But again, it's just a narrative. Last time we open and we close. And then we take a roll back onto our spine. We hug the knees towards the chest, the forehead towards the knees, and we give ourselves a huge squeeze here, rocking from side to side. And release, roll into the right hand side. Right arm extends out, left palm on top, bend the knees. As we breathe in, we open the left arm out towards the left side, and we breathe out to close. Breath in to open, and breath out to close. Breath in, and breath out. Last time here, breath in, and breath out. Rolling onto the back once again. Knees in towards the chest, squeeze them in, forehead to knees, reminding ourselves that we have everything that we need. We don't need to look outside of ourselves for love, for care. We have it all in here. And when you're ready, let that release. Give yourself a big stretch here, pointing the toes, reaching out with the hands, the arms, making yourself as long as possible. And then we'll do a little C-curl up through the spine. So sending fingertips forward, and we can use the hands to help us to get up here, or we can pretend that someone is pulling our hands, curl, 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 all the way up. Take an inhale to reach, and an exhale to plant the hands behind. Either bend the knees or stay with the legs straight as we lift the hips towards the ceiling, pull the shoulder blades together, and just let the chin drop back as much as is comfortable for you, opening through the throat for 3, 2, and 1. Lovely, let that release. Crossing one ankle over the other, rolling forward into our tabletop. And taking some super flexible, super non-rigid, I can't think of the word, cat-cows, so maybe free is the word. So just giving ourselves a roll around here. Flexing and extending through the spine. Remembering it's always about how it feels, not how it looks. Good, and then coming back to center whenever we're ready. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. On our inhale, the right leg lifts towards the sky, three-legged dog. And our exhale, we open up through the right hip, knee points towards the sky, heel towards the glute. Press evenly through both of the palms. Inhale, square the right hip, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, step that right foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee, keep the toes tucked as we inhale to our Anjayanasana. Anjayanasana, not Anjananasana. It's always a tough one to say. Good. As we inhale, open up through the heart, through the arms, spread those wings. And as we exhale, we curl in. We wrap the right arm over the left. And we back off the hips. Inhale, spread your wings. Exhale, we wrap in. Inhale, we spread, we open, we sink deeper into this love, and we exhale right over left. Inhale, we open, we expand, we share this compassion with the world, and exhale, we take some for ourselves. Good. Inhale, we reach up towards the sky. Exhale, the left hand plants on the inside of the right foot. Inhale, right fingertips to the sky. Option to pick up that back knee. And we breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Planting the right hand down, stepping back to plank. Dropping the knees or moving through our chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, release belly, chest back down. Good. Come forward with the fingertips, and we're going to do a long cobra here. So as we inhale, press through the fingertips and extend through the chest, through the lower back. Exhale, release. We take a step back with the hands. So it's a shorter cobra. Inhale. We lift. Exhale, release. Another step back with the hands. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, release. And then last step back. We should be in line with the chest now as we inhale up to our cobra. And exhale, release. Good. Extending through the right arm, palm down. So we're in a T shape with the arms. And then we'll roll onto the right arm. Lift the left foot, left knee to the sky, and give ourselves that nice twist through the body, the shoulder opening through the right. Back to center, over to the left. Good, back to center. Press the hands to the sides of the chest. Tuck the toes, coming back into plank, either on the knees or in full plank. Downward facing dog. 3 wavy dogs here as we inhale forward into plank. Exhale, bend the knees, scoop the hips. Find that freedom in the spine. Find the clicks, the cracks. Inhale to plank. Exhale to scoop up and back. Good. Find that love of movement. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. This appreciation of what our bodies can do rather than how they look. And if they can't do very much right now, just that appreciation of the breath, of that life force. Where there is breath,
There is hope. And then the left leg lifts up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, three-legged dog. Yawn the left hip open. Inhale, square the left leg. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee as we take an inhale to our Anjayanasana. And exhale, sinking in. Inhale, we spread our wings. We back off the hips a little bit. Exhale, we sink in. We wrap left over the right. Inhale, we open, we expand, we invite whatever it is in that we need. Exhale, right over left. Inhale, expand. Exhale, left over right. Last time, inhale, expand. Exhale, right over left, I think. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand plants on the inside of the left foot. Inhale, left fingertips to the sky. Option to pick that back knee up, firm through the quadricep, step, press back with the right heel. Good, breathing deeply here for 3, for 2, and 1. Framing the front foot, stepping back to plank, and taking it all the way through our chaturanga on the knees or no knees. Cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale, peel it down. Good, Shalabhasana, send fingertips back towards the toes. On our inhale, lift the legs, lift the heart. As we squeeze the glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together, energize through the fingertips to press back, and then lower down. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, got that strong posterior chain, that line that runs through the back of the body. Exhale to release. Last time, breath in to lift, and breath out to release. Option to do this 1 more time, or we can clasp the hands behind the body for locust. Is it locust? Yeah, I think so. As we inhale, lift through the heart, shoulder blades together. Press the knuckles back towards the feet. I find that as I'm getting older, more information is leaving my brain, which is a little bit worrying, but we're okay. We don't need to remember all of the Sanskrit names. We're okay. Let's hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Hands pressed down by the side of the chest. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Pressing tops of the feet against the mat, lifting up through the hips. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Take a big breath in through the nose and a breath out through the mouth. Let it go, whatever it is that you're holding on to, any tension. Maybe we have a shake or a nod through the head. And then when we're ready, step, hop, jump towards the front of the mat. As we inhale, fingertips to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Bending through the knees, feet hips width apart as we inhale into our chair pose. And exhale, standing all the way up, hands come to the heart. Placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Closing the eyes, reconnecting with our breath. And once again, cultivating this mindful awareness of what's going on in our bodies, in our minds, and how deeply connected they both are. And this intention of, may I be kinder to myself. May I be kinder to myself. And it always helps me to think about my young nieces. And I have nephews as well, but I'm just thinking especially from a female point of view.
and how they would feel if I spoke to them the way that I sometimes speak to myself. And actually how horrifying that would be to speak to them in that way, and maybe use a best friend for this, or your own child or a friend's child. Maybe even your partner. Sometimes it feels impossible to speak kindly to ourselves, but we would never dream of speaking this way towards the people that we love. Please may I be kinder to myself. Releasing the hands, sinking back into the heels as we come into our chair pose. And then as we exhale, bringing the hands towards the heart, hooking the right elbow onto the left knee, and take a look down at those knees. Pull the right knee back slightly as we press the hands together and bring the heart through. Breath in here. Breath out, we'll step back with the right leg, so we're in a twisted lunge. And then breath in as we open our wings back up. Breath out, the left hand drops to the back knee, the right arm lifts towards the sky. Breath in, back to that open twist. Breath out, warrior two. Spin the back foot flat, sink into the front knee. I love that transition. If you want to do it again quickly, please feel free. Good. And then as we inhale, we'll straighten through the left leg. We'll pull in through the hands towards the heart. And what do you want here? What are we pulling into ourselves? What do we want to embody? And it might even just be a feeling rather than a word. And as we exhale, we push out, we release anything that society has told us that we're not good enough, that we're not doing enough. So we breathe in, we pull in the light, the love, the intention, and we breathe out, we push out the fear, the darkness, the not enoughness. Inhale, we bring in. And really make this breath strong. Exhale, we release. 2 more times. Breathe it in. And exhale it out. Last time, breathe it in. And release, exhale out. Drop the back hand to the back leg, lift up through the left, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale to triangle, straighten the front leg. Inhale, reach the left fingertips forward. And exhale into Trikonasana. Drop the right hand to the right hip. Gaze down at the floor. Sink into the front knee. And we'll transition into half moon. If you need your block underneath the left hand, please feel free. Kicking back with the right heel. Opening through the right hip. And strong through the left toe. So really spread the left toes, find that firm foundation. And we can stay here, or we can bend the right leg, take hold of the right ankle, open up through the right hip, through the right shoulder, the right chest, and we come into candy cane pose. If you want to really challenge yourself, take the gaze up towards the ceiling, which I can't do at the minute because I am struggling with some dizziness. So no sudden head movements for me, and if you get dizzy too, then feel free to keep your gaze on the ground. And then releasing the right foot, and we will step back as slowly as possible to warrior two. Good. Framing the front foot. Taking our vinyasa, stepping back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Whew, good. Right leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, open up the right hip. And we can stay here, or we can take it into wild thing, stepping the right foot back, extending through the left leg, and then reaching open through the heart. Make sure the left shoulder is directly above the wrist.
As we just drape the right arm over the ear, we find this sense of openness for 3, 2, 1. Drop the hips, plant the right hand. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step, hop, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale to chair, sink back into the heels. And straight in this time. Exhale, hands come towards the heart. And we will hook the left elbow, right knee. Look down to the knees, level them up. And then begin to pick this left leg up and step it back into our high lunge. Good, so our twisted high lunge. As we take an inhale, we'll open up, spread the wings. Exhale, right hand drops, left arm reaches. Exhale, back into that open twist. Inhale here. And exhale, transitioning into our warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. That transition wasn't so smooth as the first one. Nice. And then once again, we'll use the breath. We'll inhale, we'll pull in. And we'll exhale, we'll release out. Even if you're not using language here, what is the feeling? What do we want to embrace, embody? Inhale. Exhale, release. Breath in. And breath out. What feels heavy? Last time, breath in. And breath out. Breath in, reverse warrior. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. And breath out, Trikonasana. Right fingertips down, left reaches. Breath in here. Breath out, left hand to hip. Look down towards that front foot. Transitioning into our half moon. And take the option that is most loving for you here. And you don't even have to lift that left leg. We can be in child's pose, we can be in down dog. If we want to take that option of candy cane, we can take hold of the left ankle or foot as we really open up through the left hip. And maybe, for some reason, mine's better on this side, we take the gaze up towards the ceiling. It's also about 1,000,000 degrees here at the minute, so I am literally dripping. But if you're in England at the minute practicing, I'm sure you don't have that problem and you're all practicing in your beanies and your jumpers. Look down towards the ground, release the foot, and slowly step back into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Slow transitions here. Inhale. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to plank. Vinyasa or skip it, your choice. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, open up the left hip, yawn it open, stay in here, or flipping into wild thing. Stepping the left foot behind, draping the left arm over, extending, expanding through the heart. And to come out, we drop the hips. We plant the left hand, lift the left leg up towards the sky. And we exhale to downward facing dog. Good, step in or jump in. The feet outside of the hands into our Malasana. Whew. We take a little break here as we rock from side to side, opening through the hips, pressing the elbows to the inner knees. We can have a block underneath the hips. And we have some options here. We can stay in our Malasana. This may be the nicest place for us. If we want to try going into a little back bend or twist and then into a back bend. We take the right fingertips to the side as we reach up and open with the left. Coming back to center, opposite way, left fingertips outside, right reaches. Good, and then from here, if you choose to join me, we'll place the right hand behind the back and then we'll lift up through the hips. So it looks like this. Left arm reaches. So it's a little bit like our wild thing that we just did, just from our Malasana. And then coming back into Malasana, sinking the heels, sweeping across the front, and the left hand plants. We lift the hips, we're on the tiptoes, the right arm lifts, whew, and all the way back down. Last time each side, right hand plants, left arm lifts, and back down. Over to the opposite side, left hand plants, right arm lifts. Please, may I be kinder to myself? What does this mean as we move back to center? And we'll release the hips. We'll squeeze the knees in towards the chest. And we'll just give ourselves this self-hug. Tuning back into our intention, our body, our heartbeat, our breath, and everything that comes with this human life, the messiness, the chaos, the ugliness. How can we choose to embrace and to radically accept it in a world and in a society that is constantly telling us what's missing? And how would it feel if we did this? If we cultivated this radical acceptance? So even now, we may feel our belly rolls, we may feel the sweat dripping down. Don't push it away, just see if we can just let it be there. As we give ourselves this tight squeeze. And this showing up on our mat is a way, is almost like a love letter to ourselves. It's a way of saying to our bodies that I'm here, I'm showing up for you, I'm listening. And deep down, I love you. And you might not feel it on the surface, but it's there. It's always there. Let's go ahead and take a lie down. Legs and arms up towards the ceiling, and just give yourself a big sort of wobble, shake, a loosening of the limbs, some freedom, reminding ourselves not everything has to be so serious, so rigid. How can we zoom out? Beautiful. Let's go into a super nourishing twist. So, knees in towards the chest. And then let the knees drop towards the right. And then if you want a deeper twist, just bring that left knee slightly up towards the right armpit. Press the right hand onto the outside of the left knee. Plug the left shoulder down as we gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe the eyes close. And what comes up for you in the moments of stillness and of silence? What comes up when you really let yourself feel, when you switch out of autopilot and you say hello to the body, to that inner self, your inner world?
What happens when you finally stop rushing around after everyone else and taking care of everyone else, and you acknowledge that it's time to fill your own cup? And we'll take a breath in to come back to center. And a breath out to let the knees fall towards the left. And again, if you want that deeper twist, just bring the right knee slightly up towards the armpit. Plug the right shoulder down, gaze over the right shoulder. And let yourself be nourished here. We might even choose to give ourselves some self-touch, so maybe almost taking hold or pressing down that outer right hip so we deepen the twist. And you can even take this right hand and spin the right ribs down towards the ground. So you're giving yourself a assist here. And an inhale takes us back to center. And an exhale sees the knees squeeze in, the forehead touch towards the knees, and we give ourselves this last big squeeze. And if there's anything else you want to spend a minute practicing, or another posture that you want, please feel free. Maybe a happy baby, or a shoulder stand, a handstand, depending on how you're feeling. But again, this is just an opportunity for you to listen inward, to be quiet with yourself and listen to what's going on inside. And then we'll come into our resting position, our Savasana, whenever you're ready. And sometimes it's so tempting, especially when we're at home, to skip our Savasana. To think, oh, I don't need it. I don't need I don't have time for just those 2 minutes, the 1 minute of rest. I don't have time for that. But what could be more important than just giving yourself this very, very short amount of time and space to be still, to rest, to nourish. To zoom out and to remind yourself that you are more than your thoughts, more than your narrative, more than your beliefs. You are this great, expansive, open being. And to remind yourself that you don't have to seek outside of yourself for love or validation. To remind yourself that it all comes from within. And if you believe in the higher self or some sort of source or spirit or whatever it is that you believe, you might want to visualize or feel them wrapping you in this love and reminding you that love is always loving us. And it might be a gesture like a kiss on the forehead or a stroke of the arm, a stroke of the cheek, some sort of tenderness. And we finish off by reminding ourselves of that intention. Please, may I be kinder to myself. We start to breathe more deeply into the heart space. And as we breathe more deeply, maybe we soften around the face, the jaw. We remind ourselves that we don't have to hold on so tightly. It's okay to let go, to let everything be just as it is, without the need to micromanage, to control. And we start to have a wiggle of the fingers and the toes. And our last big squeeze of the knees towards the chest. To finish our practice, we roll onto the left-hand side. And whenever you're ready, taking your time, feeling free to have a few more moments, taking a seat. Placing the hands together, closing the eyes, thumbs between the eyebrows, reminding us of the power of our thoughts and to make them as loving and compassionate as possible. The power of our words and our voice, and to remind ourselves to have loving and compassionate words, and the ultimate power of our hearts, to remind ourselves that we are love, we are nothing but love. And to be a little bit kinder to ourselves from this day on. Breathing that intention in through the nose. And we'll take a releasing breath out through the mouth. And thank you so much for joining me in this super special practice. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you next time. Much, much, much love to you all. Namaste.